Episode 23, World War II Homefront. What I saw growing up during World War II, unlike today, was that Americans were much more patriotic and willing to sacrifice for the country and for our soldiers fighting overseas. My parents and our neighbors did many sacrificial things such as saving bacon grease, doing without many things, buying war bonds, recycling metal and paper, having victory gardens, and otherwise doing their part in the home front war effort. The recycled steel was used for manufacturing tanks and jeeps and ships and guns and bullets. During the war, there were no automobiles made or anything else using steel. Our political leaders told us that our recycled bacon grease was used to make gunpowder. The kids were also involved in the war effort. One thing we did that was also entrepreneurial and right down my alley. It was collecting rags, old newspapers, and scrap metal for the war effort. Somewhere Dad got a bunch of brown burlap bags. Those bags, plus shoe leather and my own muscle, were all I needed to be in the salvage business. Some people threw their worn clothing into their trash. I rag picked it out before the rubbish trucks came. One source of scrap metal textiles were disposed in the back of nearby factories. This was all gold to me. I would stuff it into the burlap bags, and when filled, I would store them in the Murphy section of our cellar. I used the same bags to collect the heavier pieces of scrap metal. There was a Trailmobile repair shop off Putnam Avenue, very close to my house. That firm repaired freight trailers and also other trucking equipment. I visited Trailmobile regularly and collected old angle iron, greasy bolts, gears, and other rusty hardware. Jakey Jones was a scrap buyer who would come around with a horse and wagon regularly. His calling card was a melodious, "Any rags, any bottles," in a loud voice. He had a bell on the horse that would jingle when the wagon moved. The steel horseshoes would clop, clop on the hard asphalt streets. We could hear him long before we could see him. He paid much more for the metal than he did for the rags in the newspapers. Steel was worth more than iron. The best price was for brass and copper. Recycling was not always an environmental wacko religious sacrament as it is promoted today. For me, it was a patriotic and mercenary venture. Then there was the ration coupons. Joe Arrow's, a meat market on River Street, was the official food rationing program neighborhood buyer of bacon grease. We would save our grease in large baked bean cans, and then would exchange them for ration coupons that were treated as currency in retail stores. Ordinary people doing such patriotic things was so different and so much better than today. This is Rod Murphy. Thank you for viewing or listening to my YouTube and podcast episodes. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy them, please hit the subscribe button. It does not cost you anything, and it helps me to grow my audience. Again, my thanks. Note, some of my viewers and listeners have asked how they could comment on my episodes. There is a note at the top of each episode. Called Send Us a Text. Click that and you would be able to comment. Also, former redhead at protonmail.com is my podcast email if you would like to contact me. So it's former redhead, I used to have red hair, former redhead at proton, P-R-O-T-O-N, mail.com is my podcast email. Thank you.